Welcome on board Alaska's first-class train. But could this also be America's most scenic train? You be the judge as we encounter nonstop, jaw-dropping, unforgettable views that you'll just have to see to believe. All aboard. Next stop, adventure.
Hello, jet setters. I'm Jeb Brooks from greenergrass.com. This is the Alaska Railroad, and you're coming along.
Here's the plan. We'll leave Anchorage at 6:45 in the morning and cover 107 miles over about 4.5 hours. We should arrive in Seward in time for lunch.
Two things you gotta know. It is early. It is about 6 a.m., but look how light it is outside already. Second thing, it's cold. Had to grab my favorite hoodie for an extra layer for the train. Might be spending some time outside. Let's go.
Anchorage is one of my favorite cities in the United States, in large part because of its spectacular setting. But this wasn't our first visit to Alaska's biggest city.
3 years ago, we traveled with the Alaska Railroad on the Denali Star, which was an epic journey. I'll link it in the description below. But today, we're traveling out to Seward on what we've heard is one of the most scenic train journeys in North America.
Inside the train station, things are bustling. There's a gift shop and plenty of hot coffee. But we first need to take our suitcases outside to be checked through. We're traveling in the early part of the Alaska season, the first day the train's running this year, as a matter of fact. There are two classes of service available on this train, Adventure Class and GoldStar. We'll share more about the differences as we go forward, including exactly what we paid. But for now, we're booked into GoldStar, and our boarding passes are these cool commemorative pins. And as soon as we hear the all aboard, we make our way outside. 2023 marked 100 years of the Alaska Railroad, and even now, a year later, they're celebrating that milestone. You can't blame them.
We're headed up to the B car. The B car is where we will be today. Well, just this morning. This is really just a half-day trip.
Our consist today includes 2 locomotives, a baggage car, 2 GoldStar cars like the one we'll be in. Now, you can always pick those out because they're 2 stories tall, and that's a real advantage for taking in the scenery here. There are also 3 Adventure Class coaches and a Wilderness Cafe car where Adventure Class passengers can dine. There's also this Adventure Class Dome car. We'll explore a lot of this train today, but for now,
Welcome on board.
upstairs, you'll find the spot we'll spend most of our time today, the outdoor observation platform. This space is exclusive to the GoldStar coaches and, in our experience, justifies the additional cost for the upgrade.
I know where I'll be all day.
Now, if you have trouble with stairs, there are also elevators in these cars. In front of the observation platform, you'll find the bar, which will be open the entire trip, and in front of that are the assigned seats. We're booked into 12C and D. It's a pretty straightforward place with a tray table and footrest. But this experience isn't so much about what's inside, but instead what we'll see outside. And to help, the Alaska Railroad offers this ride guide for $5.
That observation deck is calling our name. We should be getting going here in just a few minutes.
I only really hear coffee calling my name.
Our on-time departure means the coffee will be flowing soon. We leave the city behind and quickly enter the rugged Alaskan wilderness. These mudflats are covered by the Cook Inlet during high tide. The tides here can reach as high as 40 feet, one of the most extreme in the world. That's just a hint of the extraordinary things we're about to encounter today. But they don't just deliver the remarkable scenery here on the Alaska Railroad, they'll also feed us breakfast. It's included with our GoldStar tickets. But I'll think about the menu later. There's no way I can stay away from the outdoor platform any longer. Passengers booked into Adventure Class will also have the opportunity to eat in this dining car right here, but meals are not included with those tickets. As beautiful as it is out here, it's cold, and even I can only last so long out there. I don't want to drop my camera. Plus, the coffee's ready, and Suzanne wants some. This is all part of the Cook Inlet, which is named for Captain James Cook, who in 1778 entered it in search of the Northwest Passage, a waterway many hoped would link the Pacific to the Atlantic above North America. This here is the Turn-Again Arm, so called because he had to turn again when he failed to discover the passage for yet another time. But don't forget to look out the other side of the train. There's something to see everywhere. Check out these Dall sheep. They're the world's only wild white sheep.
Cook Inlet is pretty impressive. I think you'll agree.
Fully caffeinated, it was time to head back outside.
Absolutely out of this world. This is just some of the most stunning scenery I've ever seen from any train. It's just unbelievable. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Trains with outdoor viewing platforms are the best trains, bar none.
The train came to a stop because we're picking up a couple passengers here in Girdwood.
Having fun?
Yes, because I have coffee.
Our stop here in Girdwood took a little longer as we waited for this northbound train to pass. We're on the move again, and it's finally time for breakfast. The dining room and the bathrooms are both located downstairs. I visited the dining room a little later in the trip to film it since we kind of tried not to film other passengers. But because our car was completely full and there's not room for everyone in here, we didn't go for breakfast until 8:30. That's about 2 hours after we left Anchorage. Remember how I said this is the first train of the season? Well, the crew seems to be getting their feet under them still, so it took us about an hour to get our breakfast after we ordered it. That's the country starter for Suzanne and the Aurora breakfast with reindeer sausage for me. It's important to note that you'll probably sit with other passengers at breakfast. We did, and we really enjoyed the conversation. Back upstairs and back outside for a completely changed terrain. We've made the turn south, inland, away from the water and up into the mountains. It's time for a climb. And there's no such thing as a bad view along this part of the trip with its sweeping S-curves. It's a truly magical place. The mountains and glaciers here, like Bartlett Glacier just 2,100 feet away, are some of the most pristine accessible by train anywhere in the world. And we're so fortunate to have this picture-perfect weather on this May day. But what you cannot feel through your screen right now are the freezing temperatures and brisk breeze. All that said, views like this make freezing cold fade away, well, at least to a point.
Time to warm up a little bit.
How about a mimosa for that mid-morning warm-up? Each GoldStar passenger receives 2 complimentary alcoholic drinks on the trip, or unlimited soft drinks and coffee. The car's dedicated bartender can make a wide variety of drinks and must have one of the best views of anyone in this business. These giant windows make the experience so much more rich, and that's a good thing.
Having traveled on the Denali Star, I've got to say this trip is completely different. The scenery is much different. It's also shorter, of course. I think this is more dramatic.
The Denali Star is the section of the Alaska Railroad from Fairbanks through the interior of Alaska, stopping at Denali before eventually terminating in Anchorage. The section we're on today, though, is called the Coastal Classic and is the continuation of the Denali Star journey from Anchorage through to Seward. Now, if I only had to pick one between the two, even though this is the shorter trip, I think I'd opt for this one out to the coast. It offers more concentrated, as I said, dramatic scenery.
There's a running commentary with a tour guide giving us all kinds of information about not only the railroad, the scenery, the wildlife we're seeing, but keeping us posted on what the history of this place is. Plus, 2 complimentary mimosas, count me in.
Sufficiently warmed, we made our way back outside.
With views like this, it's no wonder this is one of the most scenic trains in North America.
But it's the view just around this bend that most impresses me. This is my vision of Alaska. Seward is the gateway to Kenai Fjords National Park and is also a launching point for many Alaska cruises. And that tells you a lot about the people who are on board.
A lot of the people on this train seem to be doing it as a day trip to Seward. They'll head back to Anchorage tonight. But we're using this transportation. You see, we need to get to Seward to pick up our ship. That's right, we're taking an Alaskan cruise, so stay tuned.
A highlight today has to be this freezing cold lake. It's Kenai Lake, the headwaters of the Kenai River. It's a 24-mile long body of water. It looks more like a mirror than a lake today.
Out of all the trains we've taken, the scenery is just jam-packed in there. You don't have to sleep on this train. So if you've been hesitant about taking a sleeper train, this could be for you.
While you'll only find Gold Star on board the Denali Star and Coastal Classic trains, you can book Adventure Class on every route offered by Alaska Railroad. You'll get a confirmed seat, onboard dining and bar service for purchase in the Wilderness Cafe, as well as access to open seating in this Vista Dome car, well, at least during the summer. We paid $220 per person for our Gold Star tickets one way from Anchorage to Seward. In comparison, Adventure Class on this route will run you about $108 per person.
So if you've paid attention to our videos, you know that the very start of each video, we have a little kind of highlight reel showing you what to expect. The problem with this rail journey is that every single thing that we filmed is perfect for that. So it's going to be like a 20-minute introduction to this video or something.
This 4-hour trip has about as much scenery as a 3-day trip in the lower 48. Like so many of our rail adventures, a highlight of today is seeing so many people excited by the train.
We're getting close to Seward now, so almost time to call an end to this rail adventure, which is really too bad because it truly was one of the most epic in terms of scenery we've ever experienced. If you're looking for a wonderful way to get into a rail adventure without a whole lot of effort, this is it. Between now and the next time, see you on the rails. Anchorage, one of the best, right?
Let's move here.
You know, that's the third time you've said that. Hello, Jeb. That's not right.
It was what?
So good. That was so good.
Was it good?
That was really good.
Was I good? Was I good? Help you.
You want me to take your picture?
What do you think of my makeshift koozie, huh? This hat actually we bought when we were on the Indian Explorer in Peru. So it's like full circle trains. I mean, one of the most incredible scenes I've ever seen, even with the truck. Instagram versus reality.